right, Cliff, it's Kisner time. Callaway Great Big Bertha, released 2015, but Kisner can't get it out of the bag. He was still playing it at the President's Cup. I'm Andrew Tursky, head of tour content for GolfWRX.com. Before every PGA Tour event, I go out to talk to the players about what clubs they have in the bag and why. For the most part, they're playing either high-end custom clubs or the newest possible products. But not all the clubs are new or custom. Sometimes they're playing with used clubs that are actually available to you for a high value. They're about 5 to 10 years old, sometimes even older. I call these clubs the modern classic. Hello, Kisner. This is known as the Kevin Kisner driver in the gear community because he's been off and on with this driver since it came out in 2015, basically. He had it in play as recently as the 2022 President's Cup. We got the Callaway Great Big Bertha, the one with the red sliding weight is pretty much what everyone calls it. I was a little bit nervous to test this one because I wasn't sure what to expect. You know, Kevin Kisner's pretty much made this driver famous in the last 4 or 5 years, but no one else really plays it, so I just wanted to put it to the test. Kisner plays it. If it's good enough for Kisner, maybe it's good enough for me. As soon as I put it down, I love this head shape. It's got the matte black crown that everyone loves. It's got that player's shape, nice and compact. The only thing I'll say, when I put it down right away, I could tell I was gonna draw this one a little bit too much. Because that lie angle, you can just see the club peeking up at you a little bit too much, for me at least. I'm a fade bias driver guy, but this club's hot. I thought maybe it was gonna be unforgiving. I thought maybe it was gonna be a little squirrely. It felt really nice. It felt soft. If you're a guy who slices the ball, or you're playing a power fade and you wanna switch that over into a draw or hit it a little bit straighter to maximize that distance, I would say give this thing a go. It's definitely more draw biased than maybe a better player who already plays a draw might be looking for. Obviously that's not Kisner. I know Kisner keeps playing this driver because when he misses it in certain spots, he knows his misses. He's been comfortable with this driver for 7 years now. For me, I wasn't comfortable with the driver particularly, but I love the head shape, I love the feel, and the distance was really holding up, surprisingly so. What I would personally do if I was really trying to put this driver in play, you do have the red sliding weight. I would slide it all the way into the fade position and just make sure I got that shaft lined up. But honestly speaking, I'm probably not gonna put it in play. For the value scale, this is priced at $199. All right, Kevin Kisner time. The Great Big Bertha from Callaway with the red sliding weight in 2015. I didn't know what to expect going in because I feel like me and Kevin Kisner just have opposite games. You know, we're completely different. It's still in his bag, at least as of the President's Cup it was. What are we seeing from my numbers with the Great Big Bertha?
Well, right now, what we saw today is that you could reach the peak speed of some of the other drivers, but you also had a few off-center hits that didn't quite live up to the consistency that we put up with some of the other clubs. The other difference is all your launch angles here are under 12 and some are under 10, and we've seen 15s and 16s fairly consistently from you. So a little flatter flight. The spin will vary here a little bit. Now, that could be the fact that maybe one of the other shafts matched up with you a little better, but I think there could be some tweaking done to this head, because one of the things that I see is it was a little more left biased, and that's not something you are interested in your game. But it was adjusted to a slight draw bias. We could put it in the fade bias, we could adjust the club head and tweak that if we were really doing a fitting and comparing shafts and club head setups, which that Great Big Bertha allows us to do.
I love this head shape from Address. I love the crown. It felt really good. The only thing that had me nervous was it was going a little bit too far left, and I do feel like it was a slight lie angle issue. It just looks like it's pointing up at me a little bit too much. As someone who wants to try to hit a fade at least, you know, that's not what you want to see. But overall, this was very impressive. This was like the sleeper of the series for me, because I basically made it a modern classic because Kisner has played it all these years and it's been so effective for him. I had never really given this driver a shot back then, but I do think dialing it in with the weights, hosel adjustment, maybe a little shaft change out, which you guys can do here. You have a build
Absolutely.
shop, so maybe I'll work with you on getting this thing dialed in, because it does top out at pretty impressive speeds.
It's really good. A little tweaking, that could be an excellent club.
Yep, it earned its place on the modern classic list. Great big Bertha. I know the modern golfer, we're a little bit spoiled with all this technology. Pretty much all the drivers have some sort of adjustability in terms of CG to play around with those trajectories. This is one of the first drivers to do it, and you're getting that value. You're not paying $600 just to have that luxury of switching weights in the sole. You're getting this for $200. So in terms of value of what you're getting offered, you're getting that modern sliding weight technology. You're getting a driver that feels really good, looks really good, and the distance holds up. It's just, for me, it draws a little bit too much. So it's not something I would really consider putting in play. I was stuck between a 7.9 and an 8.1, honestly. And I could have went with the 8.0, but we're going with 8.01. All right, so we got the TaylorMade M2 2016.